Football's back in town in Hamilton, Tim Hortons Field, as fans file in. Yeah, the Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, got a Ninja Turtle there too. Everybody's there tonight. Watch the Stampeders take on the Ticats and a rematch, another one between two teams that met in the Grey Cup over 10 months ago in Vancouver. Will they meet again this year? Well, they meet again tonight. Still a lot to be decided between now and Grey Cup 103, of course, especially given the implications to what happened a couple of weeks ago to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It is Wendy's Friday Night Football. Week 15 continues, and welcome to it. Rod Smith along with the panel of Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. A lot appeared to change, certainly, for the Ticats 2 weeks ago against Edmonton when Zach Collaros went down. So does Jeff Matthews making his first CFL start tonight and against a very good football team. Milt, Schultz, excuse me, what are you looking for in this game?
Well, the first thing for Jeff Matthews is he's got to adjust to the speed. One thing that TV doesn't do justice to football is it underestimates, and you can't really get the speed of the football players as opposed to when you're live. Those blitzing linebackers, those defensive backs, and their recovery speed is amazingly fast. He has to adapt to that and be aware of that. If he is, then I do think he's going to be successful tonight.
Yeah, Schultz, I think that's a great point. Speed at the professional level is completely different. As much as you try to simulate it in practice, it's hard to do. I know there's a guy who's been playing with a chip on his shoulder, and I've seen it all season long, and he hadn't been talked about at all. This guy, the reigning Grey Cup champion quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell. All this talk about what Henry Burris has been doing and what he did last night. All this talk about Jeff Matthews, Juwan Simpson not in the lineup. Hey, remember this guy. He's 25-5 as a starter. That's unbelievable. He's 11-3 on the road and 4-0 against this Hamilton Tiger Cat football team. Bo Levi Mitchell is going to step up here tonight and say, hey, remember me? And play some good football.
Well, guess who's back in the lineup for these Calgary Stampeders? Brandon McDonald. Yes, the same Brandon McDonald who was with the Ottawa Red Blacks, and now he's with these Calgary Stampeders. The one thing I want to say about this guy, he can play. If not, he wouldn't still be in the CFL. He needs to keep that passion, but control his emotions. His problem is not what happens in between the whistles, but what happens after the whistles. He's a great football player. If he can control that, he can help this team win some games.
Speaking of his old team, the Red Blacks, they're right on the heels of the Ticats, now tied with them, actually, with their win last night, tied in the standings. And so, big one for Hamilton to move ahead alone in first place in the East once again. Helen Craig at Calgary, you could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, you could also win $1 million. Helen, good luck with that. The Ticats, post Collaros, still think they're the best team. We start to find out against the Calgary Stampeders tonight. Wendy's Friday Night Football. Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter have the call coming up.
Red Sky at Night, football fans delight, although maybe not for quarterbacks and kickers, with the wind howling up to 60 kilometers an hour for Wendy's Friday Night Football between the Stamps and Ticats.
When the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Jeff Matthews took over for an injured Zach Collaros versus Edmonton 2 weeks ago, it didn't go well. However, his relationship with Kent Austin goes back to their days at Cornell. Both quarterback and coach are confident Matthews will perform tonight as the starter at a much higher level. Bo Levi Mitchell has done nothing but perform at a high level in his young career. This is start number 31 for Mitchell. He is 25-5, so if it's true that you are judged as a quarterback on your win-loss record, it doesn't get much better than 25-5.
Eighth consecutive 10-win season for John Huffnagel, whose team has qualified for the playoffs. A win tonight, and they will have a home playoff date. On the other sideline, Ken Austin's Ticats are coming off the bye and now in a battle for first of the East, tied with Ottawa, 2 ahead of Toronto, with a home playoff date not guaranteed at all.
It's just getting fun now.
Brandon Banks back. The Stampeders won the toss. They've deferred. Hamilton gets the wind and the football to start. Want to get it in the hands of Jeff Matthews with the wind, and it'll be fielded by Brandon Banks. Trying to get outside, and Carl McCartney will angle him out. And here comes Jeff Matthews. Ticats 1-6 without Zach Collaros at the controls.
Now, one advantage that Matthews will have is that in the bye week, he got a chance to work with Bakari Grant on their own, work on some timing and chemistry. He's back in the lineup for the first time since early August. They moved Joel Figueroa to left tackle due to the injury to Jake Olsen. We'll watch him in the matchup against Charleston Hughes and Fred Bishop tonight.
First time that Jeff Matthews has had all the reps in preparation for one of the best defenses in the league. Starting just beyond the 30 with Michael Ford at the running back spot. Matthews will step up and carry it for about 3. Let's check that stamp, Steve.
Yeah, the Calgary Stampeders defensively got to make some changes in their linebacking core. First of all, with no Juwan Simpson in the middle. The guys talked about it in the pregame. Deron Mayo moves inside to that middle linebacker spot. Glenn Love will play a ton tonight. And a change at the corner. Brandon McDonald gets his chance, a second chance in the CFL because of the injury to Joe Burnett.
So 2nd and 7 for Jeff Matthews. 12 of 20 for 157 last week. Stands in the pocket, then throws with the wind, and the ball almost intercepted. Brandon Smith comes across to make the defensive play.
Had a good conversation with Jeff Matthews before this one during the work week. He said, you know, this secondary for Calgary is a veteran group. I can't lock into a receiver. I've got to be careful, make sure I go through my progressions, but be aggressive with the football. He takes a shot deep with the wind at his back, like he didn't get that pick by Brandon Smith.
Newcomer Sky Dawson, acquired from Edmonton, back on the returns. It'll come the other way, and it's Anthony Parker with the return for Calgary. Up across the 40-yard line, 49-yard punt with the win. 16 on the return as Bo Levi Mitchell leads the Stamps out.
Number 1 receiver a week ago against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers was Markway McDaniel, almost unstoppable, 9 catches, 159. A new tackle in this offensive line as well. Derek Dennis out of Temple will start at left tackle, the blind side for Bo Levi Mitchell. Seems like there's been a change on that Calgary O-line every single week.
Mitchell with his 6th 300-yard game last week against Winnipeg, and his best percentage throwing. That ball tipped at the line and falls incomplete.
With a young quarterback, you know that the Hamilton Tiger Cat fans will be relying on this defense, and here are their leaders. Leaders in tackles, Simone Lawrence on the outside. Leaders in interceptions, and leading the CFL is Emmanuel Davis. He's got 3 picks for touchdowns, and Hickman leads when it comes to sacking the quarterback with 8.
And a group that held Mike Riley to 49 yards passing in their last game 2 weeks ago. 2nd and 10. Mitchell short drop, he'll dump it off, and there's Cornish with it. Around the 50, takes a heavy lick, and he'll be short of the first down. Simone Lawrence in on the play defensively.
Lots of wind in this game tonight here in Tim Hortons Field. And by the way, the Calgary Stampeders have not played. The only team to have not played in this new stadium. Lots of wind to deal with. Right now, the Calgary Stampeders are going into it. Jeff Matthews has it on it at his back. Calgary won the toss and deferred, so you know they'll take it in the 4th quarter, in the second half.
Get a gauge on how far Rod Baber will be able to punt the football against this stiff breeze. Pressure was on. Line drive boot, and it's Brandon Banks around his 30, and he bounces it outside. With some running room, and he's going to score. Nobody going to touch. Brandon Banks, first return touchdown in 6 games. He goes 83 for the score.
Well, you had the feeling he was due. He got the edge, and it was goodbye.
That'll help a young quarterback.
Sure will, give him the lead. This Hamilton team all year long has scored in all 3 phases. Defense, I showed you Emmanuel Davis and his pick 6s. The special teams, this is another one for Brandon Banks, who was due. He got outside and was enjoying the stroll down the sideline, almost chatting to his teammates on the way to the end zone.
Wow. 4th punt return touchdown of the season for Brandon Banks. A little faster with the wind at your back.
Low driving kick there. Gave him a good chance to get the ball early.
And Medlock adds the extra point. 12 kick return touchdown in the Canadian Football League this season. And the 4th for Speedy B.
Low driving kick gives Banks some time. He's going to jump this side. Now watch how it commits that outside coverage team for the Calgary Stampeders. They commit inside just a step or two, and that's all he needed to get the edge and around the corner. That little move into the middle of the field brought in the contained men, and no one was catching Brandon Banks from behind.
Giovanni Aprile looked like he helped spring him for the 83-yard punt return touchdown. Well, it's always a three-phase game, but in particular on a night like this, where the ball's not going to sit on the tee, and the winds have been strong here. Not the prevailing wind off the escarpment. It's coming the other way tonight, and it's coming hard. Trying to keep this in play in the line drive. Mishandled by Dawson. He'll have to concede a single point, and Ticats are up by 8.
Well, he had one called back when these two teams met in the Grey Cup last year, and it was obviously a big one. But he's had 2 against the Calgary Stampeders in this regular season. One in Game 1 to start the year, and there is number 2 against Calgary.
So the Stamps will scrimmage at their own 35, looking for their initial first down. They'll hand it off to Cornish for the flag down, and John Cornish meets up with Simone Lawrence and gets pushed back after about 6.
Cornish versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers got over 100 yards and then lost a couple of yards in his last 2 carries and actually finished under 100.
Offside. Calgary. Hamilton number 97. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Ted Laurent offside, so they'll take the penalty in 1st and 5 instead of the rush by Cornish. And as you mentioned, don't usually see that. A running back with over 100 yards and then end up with 94 when the night's done. Starts the night 306 yards off the league lead and back to work here. And gets taken down by the middle linebacker, Taylor Reed. It'll be 2nd and short.
Well, many wondering if the Hamilton Tiger Cats can stay on a roll without Zach Collaros, but they're a 3-dimensional team. They score on all 3 phases, as I mentioned. They are great in the first quarter to get out to big leads and get good starts. You can see their points in the first quarter, 129. The points off turnovers, the turnover ratio at +18, far and beyond anybody in the league.
So 8 defensive touchdowns plus 4 return touchdowns now. Brian Moniz comes in on short yardage and plunges off the right side and has the first down for Calgary.
And Calgary Stampeders have their work cut out for them. They got to chip away, especially into this wind right now, and that's where Cornish comes in. But this is still the best team with the best record in the Canadian Football League and leading the West Division. They find ways to win. Sometimes it's on defense. Sometimes it's a play on the teams. More than not, it's their offense. Bo Levi Mitchell, Eric Rogers, Mark Wayne McDaniel, and of course Cornish.
Won their last 3 visits to Hamilton. They've won 11 of the last 13 against the Cats. And that ball, is that a lateral or not? As the pass is incomplete, and it was a forward pass to John Cornish. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That wind affected that little swing pass. So the thought that these quarterbacks tonight can just dump it down to their backs and not be affected by the wind, that ball kind of fluttered and pushed behind Cornish, but it was a forward pass and incomplete.
Second and 10 from the Stampeder 46. 3-man front for the Ticats. Mitchell has time to take a shot against the wind, and Joe West brings it down. Flag on the play as West with the catch against Ed Gainey, and are they going to call offensive pass interference?
Well, the reaction of Joe West, it looks like.
Of course, they worked on Ed Gainey in week 1, particularly Jeff Fuller.
Well, pass interference. Calgary number 85. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Would have been a 34-yard pickup, Suits, but it goes the other way.
Yeah, and first of all, Bo Levi Mitchell muscles this up to get it to Joe West, who's out there on Ed Gainey at that wideout spot. Now he heads straight down the sideline. Nothing fancy about the route. Hard to tell from this far away, but now you get a closer look. Was there a push in the back as he turned around? Boy, that was subtle. I don't know about that one.
2nd and 20. Mitchell throws, and there's the leading receiver of the league, Eric Rogers. And he'll be taken down by Gainey, well short of the first down. 68th catch for the number 1 receiver in the league, 9 for Rogers on his first reception of the night.
Now I want to take another look at that Joe West play. It's a big one. It would have been a 34-yarder. He made the catch. Now, I know there's a hand on the back, but does Ed Gainey lose any position because of it? I don't think so. I keep the flag in my pocket on that one. Now, was he in bounds when he landed? Another question.
Another punt by Maver. Another short line drive, and this one will bounce to Banks around the 35, and he is taken down quickly this time. 31-yard punt, and Charlie Power made sure Banks didn't get loose. Luke Tasker, Cornell teammate of Jeff Matthews, trying to get Hamilton's offense going. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Barbecued Pulled Pork Poutine and Sandwich. Wendy's. Now that's better. Anticipated another full house tonight at Tim Hortons Field, although there might be a few seats empty on a cold, windy night. Jeff Matthews to work, and there's the new running back, Michael Ford, back with the Ticats. He was released after 3 games back in August, but called back. A little more emphasis perhaps on the run now and pass protection with the new quarterback.
Yeah, big, strong back, and that's why Kent Austin felt it was going to help Jeff Matthews in protection, which, by the way, is what Michael Ford worked on all week in practice, protecting the quarterback. Give Jeff Matthews as much time as he can in that pocket.
Brandon Banks checks in, 2nd and 5. And they take the sweep. They go to Banks on the reverse or the counter, and he's got a first down up at the 49-yard line. Taken down by Glenn Love.
Now, at times with Kent Austin and Tommy Condell calling the offense with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the run game becomes a bit of an afterthought at times. But I agree with Milt Stiegel, who in the pregame show talked about how important a nice run game will be for Jeff Matthews and some production, especially on first down, and that's a new play in the playbook for Brandon Banks.
So first down up near the 49, double tight end formation. And they'll send it across to Terrell Sinfield on the hitch. And he gets upended by Jamar Wall and falls around midfield.
I mentioned the relationship Jeff Matthews has going back with Kent Austin to their time at Cornell. He was big-time player there. 47 school records, 18 Ivy League records. One of the most prolific passers in Ivy League history, over 11,000 yards and 72 touchdowns. He's got a strong arm. He can make all the throws. Kent Austin likes his accuracy. Now, both these quarterbacks dealing with this win tonight.
One of the keys, he said yesterday, to be decisive. Hands it off here on 2nd and 5. And Freddie Bishop, the third on the scene to limit that gain and force 3rd down.
Didn't look like there was a hole at the point of attack, and it gave Bishop a chance to go down the line from the backside and get to this play. We're trying to go off tackle here, and a little counter play. We got Figueroa pulling around to help out, but there was nothing there at the hole. Caused Ford to stutter step, and Bishop got him.
Medlock with the win. Up into the breeze and out around the 5-yard line. Nice effort by Medlock. 50 yards into the corner, and be pretty easy to get that up into the wind and right through the end zone. But there's the spot at the 6 as Medlock nails it for the 5th time inside the 10 this year. Long field for Bo Levi Mitchell, and the Stamps against the win. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Stampeders trail by 8, 104 yards away from where they'd like to be as they start another drive against the wind here in the opening quarter. Big to Cornish. And the pass complete to the man that was the favorite target last week, Marquay McDaniel, who had 9 catches for a team-high 159 yards against Winnipeg.
Yeah, it led all receivers in the CFL last week at 159, and it didn't look like whatever Winnipeg tried to do to stop them, they couldn't get it done. Whether they played man or zone, Marquay McDaniel was finding a way to get open, and Bo Levi Mitchell was finding his #1 target.
Of course, a couple of years here in Hamilton. Let's go after close to a 1,000-yard season. Second and short. Harrison with the carry, and he is dragged down by Ted Laurent, short of the first down. All-Canadian defensive tackle with the stop. 3rd and a yard. Not a place you want to gamble.
Boy, he's tough to move. Ted Laurent, that left defensive tackle position, watch him just go right up the field, slice down and catch from behind Harrison. In this wind, you almost have to give up 2.
Yeah, thinking about what the right strategy here in the wind. Standing at the goal line, and yes, they will give up 2. No question. Try and take a few more seconds off the clock. Courtney Stephen in pursuit. A Brampton guy chasing a Brampton guy in the end zone. 2 more for the Ticats here. 10-0 first quarter. Well, for the Ticats, life without Zach Collaros, although he's still trying to help out. And with more on that, here's Matthew Shinetti.
Absolutely, CC. But first, let's touch upon the schedule for his surgery. A lot of concern this week. October 1st was purported to be one of the days that he would possibly have surgery. It didn't mean there was a delay. There's a lot of time that they need for swelling and range of motion so that when he's post-op, Collaros won't be stiff and can get right into rehab. So we're looking at about October 21st to the 22nd. Collaros wants to do all his rehab here because he wants to be around the team, and primarily also because he wants to be around Jeff Matthews. He told Matthews, I will be here for you on the sidelines, whatever you need. After every series, Matthews has come off. Collaros has been the first one he's talked to, put an arm around him and given him any kind of advice. Guys?
You saw those numbers. MOP-like numbers. A shame that his season's done.
Not a surprise, though, that he has decided to do all his rehab after surgery here in Hamilton, so he's close to the team and there to help Jeff Matthews. That's what leaders do.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Rene Paredes has it on the tee. Kicking off after the safety conceded. And listen, sailing the wind takes this one. And it's just deflected out of bounds.
Oh, we just get out of bounds.
Flag comes down. That ball was touched by a Ticat before it went out of bounds. So it shouldn't be an illegal kick, but every kickoff into the wind is going to be an adventure and maybe a live football for the team kicking it.
Yeah, the kick return teams tonight will probably play their hands team. And the hands team is the team you put out there against the short kicks, the onside kicks.
Illegal kickoff out of bounds. Calgary number 30. 30-yard penalties enforced from the 25-yard line. First down Hamilton at midfield.
Sure looked like a Ticat hit that
Absolutely.
to make sure it didn't go out.
Bounced inbounds and touched there.
Now they ruling that Caldwell was already out of bounds.
Had to.
It's a smart move by Caldwell to make sure a Stampeder doesn't get near it. And looks like the momentum of the football was out.
And so was he when he came down. So that was the call.
Don't means the Ticats start at midfield. And the handoff to Sinkfield in the backfield. Terrell Sinkfield, a wide receiver who did play running back in high school, a little bit in college. And so the whole run game is perhaps underdeveloped now for the Ticats with Jeff Matthews.
Well, we've seen the fly sweep before to Brandon Banks, Terrell Sinkfield, but we saw a different version of it already in this first quarter to Brandon Banks. And Sinkfield has 13 carries coming into this game, so he has been involved in the past.
More in the fly sweep category. Targeted over 10 times each of the last 2 games. And a shot here and a drop football. Aprile in behind coverage of Fred Bennett and couldn't make the catch, looking for his first ever CFL catch.
Giovanni Aprile had this in his hands, trying to gauge it. It was kind of swirling in the wind. The wide receiver to the wide side of the field. Ball put right where it had to be on the double move. Jeff Matthews can't throw it any more accurate than that.
Should have been, and now it will be a 57-yard field goal attempt for Medlock. Distance shouldn't be an issue. And Medlock puts it up and through for a season long for Justin Medlock of 57 yards. Making hay while the wind blows here. It's 13-0 Ticats.
Absolutely. And the major on the punt return by Brandon Banks, and here Medlock just had to get it up and let the wind do the rest, make sure it was on line. Excellent hold by Tasker. Justin Medlock got the crowd going after that celebration with his holder. And
that matches his career best. Has had a 57-yarder in the past, so Stampeders in a hole. Here's John Cornish, and he finds a hole and rumbles all the way to midfield. Biggest offensive play for the Stampeders so far. 20-yard run by Cornish.
yeah, so this is third game back from injury for John Cornish, and we saw that form return against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, just shy of 100 yards on the night, as we mentioned. But the guy who gets that pad level down, can make guys miss, you've got to wrap him up and gang tackle him.
Any points against the wind will be a huge bonus tonight. First down and back to Cornish. And a rundown inside the Hamilton 50. 7 more for John Cornish. 4th in the league coming in rushing.
Of course, the Calgary Stampeders, as I mentioned off the top, had to work in a new offensive lineman in Derek Dennis. So Dave Dickinson trying to, into this win, get the run game going and getting those offensive linemen attacking rather than having to pass block.
9th different offensive linemen for Calgary. 4 of them on the 6th game. And a crosser over the middle, and it's caught by Ralph Cote. And Cote is dropped down around the 34-yard line. So Calgary's got something going here with under a minute to go against the wind in the first quarter.
Cote's like the bass player in the band. You don't hear much about him, but without him, it just doesn't sound right. He comes in and he's a tight end, and he's just going to release, run that crossing route, not picked up. The Hamilton Ticats defensively keep everyone on the line. Then they drop Adrian Tracy, but Cote catches that in front of him.
11th catch on the year for Cote. 15 on the play, first down. And now it's Cornish again. Another huge hole, and is dropped at the 15. Let's see if that stands. And Bo Levi Mitchell upset with the call that looks like it's going against Calgary.
4 yards were gained, holding. Calgary number 26, 10-yard penalty. Will replay first down.
And it's going against Cote.
Rob Cote just holds on. It's going to be to the right side of your screen right here, but he just holds on. There he is there. Just a little bit too long. I believe it's Eric Harris.
Takes a 19-yard run off the board for Cornish to the Stamps.
Boy, the blocking up front, excellent there by the O-line.
First and 20 should be the last play of the opening quarter. The pass incomplete. Geedy drilling Eric Rogers after a rear drop. That's the end of the first quarter. Calgary will have the wind at their backs when we start the second. Hamilton putting 13 points on the board, including an 83-yard. 13 points on the board, including an 83-yard punt return touchdown by Brandon Banks. Don't often see a team amass 31 yards of offense and lead 13-0, but that tells you it's a win game.
Yeah, the big punt return from Brandon Banks, but when you take a look at 55 yards passing, even when you have the wind at your back, the receivers have difficulty judging the ball. The ball's getting pushed around by that wind. You saw on that deep one by Jeff Matthews, they're trying to judge it and where they are, and it's difficult even with it.
Like tennis, you got to hold serve, and Hamilton did with the wind at their back for 13 points, and now Calgary, who looked like they've got something going on offense, gets a chance to get back in the game.
Well, not a surprise that when they did start to get something going, it was because they established John Cornish, get the Hamilton linebackers looking at number 9, the offensive line a chance to go out and attack people, and then the passing game can develop after that.
By the way, the Ticats have outscored their opponents at home 82-11 in the first quarter this year. Into the win, with the win, Mitchell looking for West, who had a step on Courtney Stephen, but the second down pass is incomplete to the field goal unit will come on.
Yeah, and that one again looked like it just got pushed a little bit and it was just out of reach for the intended target, so Bo Levi Mitchell have to try and dial that in, but he took a shot, and now it's Paradis' chance to just put it up there and let the wind take it.
He'll try one from 51, and this would be his longest of the year, his longest. Ticat fans don't have to be reminded. Final play of the game of week 1 when he beat the Ticats, and he's got this one through to get Calgary on the board early in this second quarter. Well, the wind has been a factor at most games at Tim Hortons Field, and it didn't catch John Hufnagel by surprise this week.
Probably be a win-type game. So I explained to the team during the week that game day decisions may be a little bit different than what we've been used to, and just to be prepared for it and cope with the wind, and make the plays at the end to win the game.
Cuts the game in half, and now can Hamilton move the football against the wind? A good start here with Michael Ford running for 6.
John Hufnagel wins this game. It'll be his 99th, and not a surprise that a coach with that many wins on his resume has taken care of all the details. That interview was done yesterday, and he had done the research on the Weather Network and understood that coming into this game tonight, there was going to be a lot of wind they were going to deal with.
And not only yesterday, but preparing his team all week.
Yes, absolutely.
2nd and 4. Matthews guns it in, and that was almost intercepted. And jumping it was the newcomer, Brandon McDonald, actually returning to the Stamps where he started his CFL career. A dangerous pass that Matthews, fortunate, was not intercepted.
Yeah, started it, then chance with Ottawa, got into some penalty problems there. They decided to go in another direction. I'm glad he's getting a second opportunity, not because of the injury to Joe Burnett, that was too bad, but just that Penalties didn't cost him a chance to continue to play. He's going to get an opportunity. Almost had that one.
Pass intended for Bakari Grant back in the Ticat lineup. This one bouncing around at the 42-yard line, and Sky Dawson is drilled down. Good cover there by Aaron Crawford. The punt just 28 yards, 3 on the return. John Cornish looks like he could be in for a big night. Running hard early. Stampeder football when we come back. Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues tomorrow. Doubleheader action. First, Eskimos battle the Blue Bombers, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. And then in what might feel a little like a playoff game, Suits, Rough Riders take on the Lions, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Catch both games on TSN 1 and 4. Fans here hope this feels like a Grey Cup preview. Mitchell throws, and that one gets away from the intended target. Joe Fuller incomplete. His favorite target's been Marquay McDaniel of late, and it's because they're on the same page.
He's a guy that he's got a quarterback's mind at receiver. You know, he sees the coverages. He knows exactly where I want him to be in the holes, exactly when I want him to be there, and he knows exactly what kind of ball I want to throw, which is it makes it easy for me to get out there and see him on second down, but really just any time during the game.
5 second down conversion catches for McDaniel last week.
There he is.
There's another. Dragged down by Simone Lawrence, but that combination has been lethal, especially on second down.
Yeah, time and space for Marquay McDaniel, knowing the coverage in front of him, reading it like the quarterback would read it. Little bang route, come inside, curl, bang back to the outside, find that little spot. Simone Lawrence can't get there. Another clutch catch for Marquay McDaniel.
25th time he's caught a pass on second down to generate a first down. Trouble on the snap. It's scooped up by Cornish alertly, and look at John Cornish make something out of nothing. Wow. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah. Wow. Kicking around a little bit in the backfield, but Cornish picks it up, and just watch the quick feet of Cornish just shuffling his way after just recovering for Bo Levi Mitchell. Say, hey, don't worry about it, I got it from here, and goes to get the first down on his own. He made about 3 or 4 people miss, and Adrian Tracy just a split second too late to get that fumble in the backfield.
4 carries, 42 yards. He's had a 19-yarder negated by penalty. And some confusion here, and Mitchell calls a timeout to confer with Dave Dickinson.
You wonder about John Cornish's health. Early in the week, Monday and Tuesday, missed Tuesday's practice with a bit of a stomach flu, had some issues there, didn't practice with the team. It's been okay the last couple of days.
Now he's got some defenders feeling queasy.
Got it done on his own there.
1st and 10. Ball at the Hamilton 43. Emptied out, and the hitch goes to Rogers. McGeady unable to bring him down immediately, and Brandon Stewart will help out to limit the gain to 7.
Yeah, you mentioned the #1 target for Mitchell and Marquay McDaniel, and when we're talking clutch catches, that's a CFL ranking right there. 25, he just caught one a couple of plays ago for the 25th. When that category came in, Chris, that was the clutch catch. Does it move the chains? If you drop it, you're punting. He's the best in the league at it.
See what they do on 2nd and 3. Big pitch to Cornish, and Mitchell thrown deep, and it's a touchdown. Flag on the play. Joe West brought it in, and it looks like this is coming back.
Holding. Calgary, number 63, 10-yard penalty. Will replay second down.
Center Pierre Lavertu called, and that takes the West touchdown off the board. That's a couple of big West catches that have been negated here tonight.
Like he was going against Brian Hall. Gets him around the shoulder pad right here in the middle of your screen. Twists Brian Hall around to the ground. No question holding there. Official had to call that one, and it takes a touchdown off the board. What a great catch by Joe West, too, playing the wind.
So 2nd and 13 now. Short drop, going through the reeds, and that ball tipped at the line, incomplete. Brian Hall, who drew the penalty, now has a knockdown. And the field goal unit comes on.
Back-to-back plays by Brian Hall. First to draw that penalty on Pierre Lavertu. That was just great tenacity. And then he steps up. And off the edge here, they move him outside, gets his hand on that ball. It also looked like Bo Levi Mitchell wanted to pull it back there. He didn't like what he saw as he was releasing it.
Paredes this time from 52. And he's missed. And that will end a streak of 22 consecutive successful field goals for Rene Paredes. 1 for 2 tonight, both attempts outside the 50. And it's 13-4 Ticats. Here, the Stamps without their leader on defense, Juwan Simpson. With more, here's Matthew Shinetti.
CC, Juwan Simpson always knew that he was a leader on this team, but he knows it even more now when the players insisted on him making the trip to Hamilton. Not only that, but before the game, when the team came up, before they do their stretches and warm up, they obviously break it down. We've seen how they go ahead and get ready before a game. They asked Juwan Simpson to lead that before the game, and though he's not going to be making his pregame speech, Keon Raymond did do that. One thing Simpson did do is he went up to Duron Mayo and said, I'm not in there. I know I'm a leader, but we don't lose anything with you out there. Just go out and play. Guys?
First game he missed was in Montreal. They just seemed flat in that game. Michael Ford the catch, and there's Duron Mayo on the scene defensively with Glenn Love, the linebackers. But he is the emotional heartbeat of that defense when he's out there.
Absolutely. I mean, a captain at Alabama and captain for the Calgary Stampeders. Now, Duron Mayo's a good football player, and there was some question as to whether or not he would move to the middle. Now, he'd have to, that's 2 adjustments. And that's what they decided to go with.
2nd and short, Matthews off the right side. A collision with Josh Bell, the safety. But a first down into Calgary territory for the guy who handled short yardage in the first meeting between these two teams and said that was almost more pressure-packed because you never knew when you were going in. Here he knew he had a couple of weeks to get ready for this start against Calgary.
And get ready against these young linebackers. There was some thought for Calgary to move Glenn Love to the middle, so Duron Mayo wasn't making the adjustment as well, but they decided, the Stampeders, to go with the 4-year veteran and Mayo in the middle, guy with more playing time.
Just 2 first downs for the Ticats, and now Terrell Sinkfield with the carry to the 50 and has 3. Second carry for Sinkfield on the night.
I asked Jeff Matthews during the week in a phone call I had with him who was his guy growing up. He told me it was Brett Favre, that he was a big fan because Brett Favre every game would go out there and leave it on the field. He said, if anything, that's what I want to do. I might not be perfect, but I want to leave it out there.
3 for 6, 26 so far as he throws a pass that gets away and is intercepted. Brandon McDonald, who had a shot earlier, does have a pick. It's his 3rd of the year. Pass intended for his old Cornell teammate, Luke Tasker.
Well, Brett Favre threw some picks as well, and this is one that, again, this win is going to be a factor. And I'm not giving either of these quarterbacks, the out completely, but it's affecting their accuracy. Defensive backs love games like this because the ball will fly on you. Sometimes you try and overthrow it a little bit, and that one you could see well over the head of Luke Tasker. Did McDonald make the clean catch? Looks like he does. Both arms underneath the football. And Brandon McDonald, on a 3rd chance, really, makes a big play.
4th interception thrown by Matthews. of the work back in the hands of Joe West. And Joe, there's no penalties this time. That catch will stand for the Stampeders, just a short gain of around 4.
Clearly, in this first half, even with the wind as a factor it is, Joe West has been the target for Bo Levi Mitchell, and they're trying to work on this matchup with Joe West on Ed Gainey. See if Orlando Steinauer goes to some more zone defense to protect him, or does he leave him in this man scheme?
This time Fuller, but they're going to look over the middle, and there is Eric Rogers up around midfield. Rogers dropped the football, and the Ticats have got it. Was Rogers down, or has Hamilton stolen the football again? They lead the league in takeaways, and it's number 40 on the year. Courtney Stephen has the football.
Trying to get those extra yards, and Eric Rogers up the middle. It's Emmanuel Davis that pulls it out. No question. He's standing up, and that is a fumble recovered by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So the guy with 5 interceptions on the season, which leads the Canadian Football League, 3 for touchdowns, gets a forced fumble and the turnover for Hamilton.
An assist to Simone Lawrence with some extra contact, and ending up with the football was Courtney Stephen. It comes after what would have been a 22-yard gain for the Stampeders. Now pitch to Ford, trying to get to the edge. Cuts it back. And then reverses again. He lost the football. And the Stamps have it back. Wow. Deron Mayo ends up with it. The flag comes down late.
His own player kicked the ball out of his hands, his teammate.
Well, a strange one, and there it is, yeah. Off the foot of Sinkfield, back to a Stamp.
And the chances of Terrell Sinkfield right here is his leg, he's on the ground, spins around, and that left leg kicks the ball out of his teammate's hands in Michael Ford. Now, if Ford doesn't get the ball dislodged like that, he has a convoy around the edge here. No Stampeder outside of that hash mark.
Wow. Initially, I couldn't understand why he stopped running. It looked like he had a touchdown developing. Here's Markway McDaniel, and he is dropped close to a first down by Taylor Reed. So 3 turnovers in a 4-play span, and Calgary gets the football back. That might be the strangest fumble of the season.
Well, and one that you don't expect. If you're Michael Ford, you're running with the football, and you think you've got room. There's no Calgary defender hitting you. And all of a sudden, your teammate kicks it out of your hands.
Frank Moniz back in, short yardage team, 2nd and 1. And he'll plunge in behind Spencer Wilson, the right guard, for a Calgary first down.
Now the turnovers back and forth, but the Stampeders have the wind at their back. So John Hufnagel needs to get some production out of his offense here and some more points on the board. Obviously, this is going to be one of those games. When you have it, you want to make sure you make hay. Don't often see Coach Hufnagel wearing the ball cap. That's how windy it is.
First down, Stampeder 51, and it's Cornish. And this time they swarm to the football. Cornish gets back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more.
Adrian Tracy makes the play here. You know, he's been close in this first half to a couple of big plays in the backfield, but he's going to string this out. Cornish trying to get the edge here, but he's going to make Cornish turn his shoulder pads toward the sideline by stringing it out, stepping up the field, taking on the block of Derek Dennis, the newcomer, and forcing Cornish to run laterally.
Dennis, the 4th left tackle that John Hufnagel's had to deploy this year. 2nd and 10. Mitchell steps up. He wants to go deep. Anybody home? Now launches, and this one is incomplete. Wanted Fuller jump ball against Courtney Stephen.
Lots of time because of the movement and how Bo Levi Mitchell is going to just step up, escape to his left. Now he wants the big play. Now he's got Rogers, but that's a window that with this wind he didn't want to take the chance. 3 defenders close to Eric Rogers there, so he takes the shot in the one-on-one matchup. Steven makes a play. Here's Maver with the wind. He'll try and keep this ball in play. And Banks inside the 10. And they'll miss him. And the ball pops loose, and who's got it? The Calgary gets it back. Another fumble. Banks with the second effort. Jalil Carter had a shot at it. The newcomer just signed, 29. Looked like he had the first opportunity to get the football, and they continue to fight for it at the bottom of the pile. Looks like Glenn Love comes up with it. He does, the UCLA product. In a starter's role with the injury to Simpson, but a key guy on special teams and a costly turnover for the Ticats. Well, here's what's strange about this game so far is that clearly that is out and loose. And a fumble. Glenn Love recovers. What's strange about it is that you know that the wind will affect the passing game. You may see some more interceptions. We've seen one by Brandon McDonald, but it shouldn't affect fumbles.
No. Malik Harris with the forced fumble. Glenn Love the recovery. And Joe West a mile offside.
Offside. Calgary, number 85, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, Joe West thought it was on first down there. He's pointing at himself going, I thought it was first down. I didn't know you meant on 3.
He went west before the ball was snapped. So it's first and 15. Play before the 3-minute warning. Mitchell sets up the screen to Cornish and dumped around the 10-yard line. So it'll be second and around 3 when we come back. Under 3 to go first half, a 9-point Hamilton lead.
At the half, yes, it is a sports show, but we're going to talk a bit about the weather. The wind in Hamilton, the turnovers, special teams games, and how these teams are using it to their advantage and how they're going against it as we head back to Chris and Glenn.
Thank you, Rod. Stamps trying to take advantage of this wind and close the gap. Second and about 2.5 here. They're going to throw down around the end zone. It's Markway McDaniel, touchdown. Former Ticat has his 3rd major of the year.
Well, conventional wisdom says short yardage like this, couple yards to go, that number 9 might be factored in, but the Calgary Stampeders and Dave Dickinson go to their clutch receiver who just sits down right at the goal line. He has more 2-point converts than any player in the CFL.
You said conventional wisdom. John Hines, our producer, and I said Cornish, and you said McDaniel, so good call.
But I thought it might be the fly sweep type of play to McDaniel, not a throw. Either way, Calgary scores and takes advantage of that turnover.
Now they're going to go for 2 points. Interesting that McDaniel celebrates from the sidelines. He has 4 2-point convert catches so far this season, but they'll try and do it without him here. And Mitchell into the back of the end zone, too strong for Torrey Harrison, and they'll come away empty on the 2-point convert.
Mitchell tried that touch pass to just kind of loop it, alley-oop it in there almost to Torrey Harrison, but tough to do that on a night like tonight. It allowed Ed Gainey to just get under it. He almost had a crack at the interception there. We showed you that clip of Bo Levi Mitchell talking about Marquay McDaniel and how he thinks the game like a quarterback, you see that he pointed out the blitz to Craig Butler for his quarterback just before the snap of that ball. He pointed and said, hey, Craig Butler's coming on a blitz, so I'm going to just curl right past him. Touchdown, Calgary.
We talked about him some tonight.
Shout out to everybody back at home in Virginia. That's what my nephew, he told me I better get a touchdown tonight.
Still think he might be as underrated a star as there is in this league.
Keep going.
Not the most targeted overall receiver in the Calgary lineup. That's Eric Rogers. But you're right, Chris. Just a star that can do it all. He can get behind you, he can go deep. Talked about his big second down catches, touchdowns, 2-point converts. I mean, Marquay McDaniel can do it all.
Well, Paredes trying to get it to stay on the tee. Brandon Banks in the Ticat end zone awaiting, and a little surprised to see David Caldwell back there as well as a return man. Paredes sends Banks about 10 yards deep, and he mishandled it and will concede a single point. Adam Tebow makes sure he's not going anywhere. And it's a 2-point Ticat lead. We mentioned Marquay McDaniel and his value, certainly appreciated by his head coach.
Very knowledgeable, very smart, very athletic, and does everything very, very well. But you know, he's not the flashy type guy, and so I love having Marquay McDaniel on our football team. We depend a lot on Marquay, and he provides us a lot.
There are the numbers first half as Matthews throws, and off the fingertips of Anthony Woodson, and Matthews.
Oh, he took a big one.
Took a tough hit.
Yeah. Charleston Hughes coming off the edge, and it was right in the throwing lane. That 2-point stance in the stand-up rush in position, and he's coming off this edge here, and it's in the throwing lane right where Matthews has to step to.
Talked to him yesterday about watching film, and he said, we really take the personalities out of it. We just talk about numbers like 39. And we mentioned 39 is pretty good, you know. He says, oh, yeah. Is he ever? And look, Tasker, what a catch. There is the former Cornell connection. Matthews to Tasker really helps out his young quarterback here with a clutch catch.
Well, it's contested with Brandon Smith, who steps right underneath, almost as if he's in that better position for the pick, but fought off by Tasker for the first down right at the marker.
Terrific catch. Keeps the Ticat offense on the field. Under 2 left here in the second quarter. And back into the hands of the running back, Michael Ford, up over the 50-yard line, and he has 6.
Well, Tasker chipping in a different way on that last play. He lined up with a slot back to the wide side of their field, and then he comes in, and he's going to come in and provide a little backside blocking help on Freddie Bishop. Just try and get in front of him. Doesn't have to be a huge knockout blow. It's just to seal the backside for his running back.
2nd and 5. Ford trying to get outside. Nothing doing. Gets back to the line of scrimmage with some extra effort. Jeff Hecht was on the scene, and they'll have to punt it away.
You know, anytime, it doesn't matter if it's John Cornish or Michael Ford or Andrew Harris or whoever it is, if you can get those shoulder pads going east-west towards the sideline, everybody rallies quickly.
Stamps did take a timeout here in the first half. Otherwise, they might have taken it here. Good boot. At the 25-yard line. Dawson drilled down at the 29. So exactly a minute to go for the Calgary Stampeders. A 36-yard punt into the wind. And the Stamps with a minute to put points on the board and take the lead.
Just want to show you that punt again. Unusual motion here by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You don't often see this early snap motion. Just wonder if Hamilton may be setting something up for a later date.
All the points with the wind here. First half, and Calgary work it into field goal range. There's McDaniel again, and he'll stop the clock as he steps out at the 35 and has 5. Number 2 in catches in the league. And we showed you that board of categories Marquay McDaniel leads in. He had the yards after catch lead coming into the week until Brad Sinopoli, with some help from his old friend, got things done last night for Ottawa. Anthony Parker a catch and has a first down. By the way, how about Henry Burris?
Yeah, nice job by the 40-year-old starter who's on pace for a record season for him, a personal best, but broke the record for completions at 45 last night.
Somebody better check his ID.
What a game.
First down, Calgary. And the screen, Cornish up near midfield, makes a man miss. And down to the Hamilton 51-yard line. So they're getting close to Paradis range with this heavy wind. Good first half for number 9.
3 in a row, sort of ball control type throws just to get in field goal range.
Short drop, and again it's Cornish out of the backfield, and he's submarine there. A good tackle again by the guy having an all-star season, Emmanuel Davis.
Coming out of the zone defense, they're just going to allow Calgary to throw it underneath, not give up a big one. He's got the league's leading receiver in front of him, but he's going to pass him off to the deep coverage. There's Craig Butler picking him up, and quick close by Emmanuel Davis.
3-yard gain, an injured Ticat on the play. And it's Adrian Tracy. Just what the Ticats had hoped to avoid, more injuries. Between these two teams, there are 30 players on the 6-game disabled list, 16 for Hamilton, including Eric Norwood, the man that Tracy had replaced, and 14 for Calgary.
Weird play for Adrian Tracy. Didn't really even have contact. But you're right, the injuries have hit both of these teams so hard. And just watch Adrian Tracy off the edge, and another bizarre one because he has not even made contact and he just sort of buckles and grabs the knee.
And in the last home game, it was another knee that buckled even before contact by Zach Collaros.
A lot, you know, we've talked a lot about the injuries to the O-line in Calgary, but boy, Ken Austin can give you a roster of players that he's lost. They still don't have Andy Fantus available. Zach Collaros, as you mentioned. Jake Olson on their offensive line. Peter Dykowski did not start tonight. He's
C.J. Gable.
C.J. Gable's another one. I mean, the only receiver in their lineup tonight is Terrence Tolliver, who's played in all of the games for Hamilton. All the other receivers have missed some action this year. So both these teams that were in the Grey Cup last year have had to deal with all kinds of injuries this year.
Arnaud Gascon-Nadon is in his spot. There's Rogers, second down conversion catch, and they're clearly in field goal range now, but thinking about more. They've got time for one play, or do they? Looks like Paradis is going to come in now.
Here's the view from Bo Levi Mitchell's perspective as he sees the hole, just like I'm sure Calgary fans saw at home.
Fourth catch, 58 yards for the leading receiver in the league, Eric Rogers, and Paredes will line it up from 36 yards out. Trying to erase the 13-point lead, up and good, and the Stampeders will lead by 1 at the half, pending a penalty here. See what the call's all about. Indication it's going against the Ticats, which will likely be declined.
Yeah. Permitting. Hamilton. Penalties decline. The field goal is good.
So 30 minutes in the books. 13 points for Tiger Cats with the win. 14 by the Stamps with the win. They have a 1-point lead as we join Rod.
It's brought to you by Wendy's Barbecue Pulled Pork. It's brought to you by Wendy's Barbecue Pulled Pork, Poutine, and Sandwich. Wendy's. Now that's better. That's better. Was better for Calgary in the second quarter, coming back to take the 1-point lead. Here's Milk with the stats.
Well, the most important stat that's not being shown is 57 kilometers. That's the wind speed so far in this first half. All the points have been scored with the win. This third quarter is going to be real important for these Hamilton Tiger Cats. They have to find a way to score some points and stop turning the ball over.
Big production with the win for Stamps receiver Marquay McDaniel. 5 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. Here he is now with Matthew Shinetti.
Marquay, you and I were just talking off camera about the wind here. How tough was it in the first half?
It's definitely swirling. The first quarter, we were going against the wind, so we probably ran the ball a little bit. Both doing a good job throwing the short throws, but, man, when the wind is strong, when you're going against it, you got to run the ball and throw short.
So what kind of adjustments do you think the offense needs to make in the second half?
I think we just need to do a better job getting yards on first down, like I said, running the ball, getting short passes, especially when we're going into the wind. When we were going with the wind, we scored 14 points. So we just got to keep making plays when we're going to win.
Thanks for this.
No problem.
The touchdown for Calgary from Bo Levi Mitchell. They've had Cornish running as well, and they do have the lead thanks to that late field goal by Rene Paredes. Stamps, Ticats, second half coming up. Wendy's Friday Night Football.
In the hammer on a Friday night. 1-point game headed to the second half, and down to the sidelines, Matthew Shinetti with Kent Austin.
Kent, how do you adjust for the win going in the second half?
Well, no, we just got to hold on to the football. You know, we first turnover on interception, we just missed the throw. Doesn't matter if it's into the wind or not. You know, we got to deliver the football, and then we got to hold on to the ball in the run game. Defense played well. You know, I thought we fought hard as well, but I just, you know, we just got to execute better. You know, just across the board, we got to execute better.
How did you assess Matthew's play in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff's an accurate passer, you know, and he just needs to be willing to be confident whether he's with or against the wind and deliver the ball accurately.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Guy who played at Mosaic's not going to use wind as an excuse, even though you could easily do that on a night like tonight, where it's gusting up to almost 60 kilometers an hour, and even the big light standards are swaying in the wind.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, I'll give both these quarterbacks a bit of an alibi with this strong wind gusting at 60 kilometers per hour. But interesting that both these head coaches will not very carefully choose their words so that their players will not use anything as an alibi or an excuse, whether it's wind or opponent or injuries or anything. Got to deal with it.
In the coin toss, big tonight. Calgary won it. Deferred and will have the wind at their backs in the fourth quarter. So now's the time for the Ticats, who got some offense from Brandon Banks on a punt return touchdown in the opening quarter. That ball hanging up there, up for grabs, live football, and is it another turnover? Looks like Malik Harris may have got it for Calgary. He has. So that's the fourth turnover. And
offside. Calgary, number 41. 5-yard penalty. Will re-kick.
Wow. A huge reprieve for Kent Austin's crew. And boy, the message that he probably sent about turnovers unheeded on that first kick, but they get a reprieve.
All the little things get the turnover. And T-Boy, let's take a look at that kick again and see where the offside was. Right beside the football.
Maybe the fastest guy on that kick cover unit, Adam Tebow. Laval product, who has 11 special team tackles, one of the leaders in that category, but a little too anxious there. And what a great break that is for the Ticats. But every kickoff is going to be dangerous, hanging up in the wind.
And that's why I think Ken Austin, right after that, and got the second chance here, has basically put his hands team out there. You see safety Mike Daly out there on the kick return team. They've moved up. Brandon Banks has moved a lot closer. But yeah, live after 10 yards.
Squibber, one hopper. And it's Gaston Nadal, the big defensive end, who ends up smothering the football up at the 47.
Not a big night for receivers. Brandon Banks with the 83-yard punt return. That was with the wind at his back. 7 touches for Michael Ford out of the backfield. 29 yards for him. Almost had a big one if not for Terrell Sinkfield kicking the ball out of his hands. Tough to evaluate Jeff Matthews in his start with the conditions.
First down, hitch into the hands of Sinkfield. Ran into traffic. Josh Bell there to limit the gain to about 3. Matthews, the 5th different quarterback to face Calgary in their last 5 meetings. Henry Burris, Jeremiah Mazzoli, Dan Lefevre, Zach Collaros, and now Jeff Matthews. Second and 7. Here comes the pressure. Picked up, and Matthews incomplete. Trying to get it through to Bakari Grant, who he spent some extra time with in the bye week. Mentioned 5 different quarterbacks. It's also 5 different locations for John Huffnagel's last 5 visits to play Hamilton. 2011, they played in Moncton. Ivor Wynn in 2012, then Guelph. McMaster early last year before this first ever visit to Tim Hortons. Sky Dawson on the return, and he doesn't reach the 20-yard line, covered downfield by the newcomer Jalil Carter, the former Argonaut.
Now, experienced Bo Levi Mitchell is managing this wind a little bit better than his counterpart Jeff Matthews in his first start. Markway McDaniel again a #1 target, 5 catches, 44 yards in the passing game. That touchdown down in the red zone. 9 touches for Cornish. He looked good in that first half. And Calgary chose to run the football.
You mentioned Bo Levi Mitchell, 25-5, 4-0 against the Ticats in his CFL career, not counting the Grey Cup victory last year when he was the MVP. Handing it off to an MOP, John Cornish. Short gain here, brought down by Justin Hickman.
Now, can this Hamilton defense continue to create a couple of turnovers of their own? They lead the league in the giveaway takeaway category. Orlando Steinauer, their defensive coordinator, will not have the services of Adrian Tracy hurt in that first half. Make the adjustment. They love to turn the ball over, and when they do, they often score with it.
So second and long, and the handoff to Cornish, and he has room inside to run for a first down. The middle linebacker Taylor Reed brings him down, but Cornish matches the number on his jersey, and a first down for Calgary.
You get the feeling that whichever team can chew up time into the wind and finish with a score. The team that can score going into the wind is going to win this game. And time Shane Berger got out on Taylor Reed, and he couldn't react in time to hold him short.
Jalil Carter has checked in, and he takes over at the field corner spot. Cornish again on the run. And a nice contact and tackle there by defensive tackle Brian Hall. Just 2 for Cornish.
That was a big hit. Cornish hit that line of scrimmage and ran right into 6'1", 295.
Saw Jalil Carter check back out. Eric Harris returns on 2nd down and 8. Mitchell, catch is made, but McDaniel well short of the first down, and the Stampeders will have to punt.
Orlando Steinauer likes to give you a lot of different looks. Watch the movement from this Hamilton defense. Dave Dickinson trying to figure out. You're going to see all kinds of movement before the snap. Look at him shift to different position and then react. Simone Lawrence flies out of there, and he's there to touch down Marquay McDaniel. Love to move around just before the snap of the ball. So once the quarterback reads what they're trying to do, they switch it up.
Maver kicking to Banks. And it hops by Banks, scoops it up back around the 35 with flags flying, and he gets ushered out. 35-yard punt, nothing on the return. We'll sort out the flags when we come back with Jeff Matthews and the Ticat offense on the Tuesday. The Flash is back for a new season with an unfamiliar nemesis. Not sure if it's that guy. CTV's The Flash, new season, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central. Old nemesis meeting up here. Calgary and Hamilton. Penalty was against Rob Cote. Illegal interference, the call. 10-yard penalty. And the Ticats started the 47. A pass complete to Tasker across midfield and dropped at the Calgary 51-yard line.
Getting that old Cornell connection back in form here from Jeff Matthews to Tasker. Little change motion with Bakari Grant, and then he cuts hard on that slant just in front of Keon Raymond. Ball nice and hard and low so Tasker can protect himself.
First down at the 52. Hand off inside, and a good run by Sinkfield.
Showed you the board earlier. 47 Cornell records passing. Over 11,000 yards and 72 touchdowns. And the last couple of throws here are going to be to Luke Tasker. Number 18. Very interesting knowing Kent Austin, who was the coach back in Cornell with Tommy Condell, as an offensive coordinator, when he said Jeff Matthews is an accurate passer. Whether he's into the wind or not, he's got to just make sure that he's confident in that.
So familiarity with his favorite receiver, his head coach, the offensive coordinator, all at Cornell. So the system's familiar. The philosophy he understands. And as the coach mentioned, now they've got to execute. And Matthews on short yardage has a first down.
Yeah, you know, when I talked to Jeff Matthews this week on the phone, I asked him about that. I mean, how much can you carry over because of different games, 4-down football and 3-down football? And Tommy Condell was there, of course, at Cornell as well with Kent Austin. He said conceptually it's very similar. Now we get to the result in different ways because of motion and different types of formations and the extra player, different when you're reading and going through progressions, but the concepts are very similar.
First down, throwing it complete, short yardage to Ford. I was going to ask you, Suits, they're going with the wind. Time is of the essence. Make hay as much as you can, and yet they've huddled for the most part. Is that because it's not Zach Collaros? Do you think in a win game with Collaros, they wouldn't be huddling as much?
It's a good point. You get as many plays as you can with the wind at your back, and so you could at least be up-tempo. Even if you're huddling, they can get in and out a little bit quicker than they have been.
Just looks like it's been pretty methodical. Not that that's a bad thing, but with the wind, take as much advantage as you can. Well, he does here. Throws a strike at Sickfield. He's got another Ticat first down.
Boy, there's that accuracy we're talking about. He's been much better in this second half, and whether it was a combination with his conversation with his head coach or Zach Collaros at halftime, clearly he's got the wind at his back now, but that accuracy was an issue with the wind at his back in the first half, and now he's got it back. He puts that right between the 1 and the 4.
Sickfield's become a bigger part of this offense in recent weeks. 19 catches in the last 3 games. Pitches out to Tolliver, breaks 1 tackle, and then gets flattened by Duron Mayo. First catch for LSU product Terrence Tolliver.
Time keeps ticking here with the wind at their back. One guy that hasn't been involved yet in this offense is Bakari Grant, back for his first game in a long time, since early August. And Kent Austin was really looking forward to seeing him. Now tough on the passing game here, but
and they get to the line, 12 seconds already off the clock, and they may just get this one in with 1 second left. And there's that little reverse to Banks, and he's got a first down. Trying to tighten up the sidelines. There's a flag down, and they ruled him out at the 11.
Jeremy Lewis gets out in front of this.
Offside. Calgary number 95. Penalties decline. First down Hamilton.
Well, first down run by Brandon Banks.
You're going to see a nice low angle of this with the big tackle. Jeremy Lewis coming out and around the edge, number 56, and he just causes some problems, gives Brandon Banks the side. You see that foot on the white stripe just before, well, a couple of times.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 11. And now it's going to be 1st and 15.
Offside. Hamilton number 17. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Guy that doesn't make many mistakes makes one here. Tasker offside. Veteran Tim O'Neill, the right guard, a former Calgary Stampeder, on that offensive line for the Ticats. 1st and 15. Matthews with a flag down, takes off, and he gets brought down. Ball popped loose, and Keon Raymond trying to bring it in. I think he's got it. Jeff Matthews fumbled last week, or last game against Edmonton, one of a critical turnover, and let's wait for a signal here. He's looking for the next play.
I think he was.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Calgary.
I think it was a fumble. Clearly the ball is out before his knee touches.
Looks like another turnover, the 4th of the game by the Ticats. This one in the red zone. Team that was plus 18 coming into the game, giveaway, takeaway, has committed its 4th turnover of the game. Another fumble, this one by Jeff Matthews.
I think Keon Raymond fought back to get the recovery here, but clearly it's out before Matthews' knee touches the turf.
Sandwiched by Wigan and Johnson, picked up by Raymond. And after 5 minutes with the football, they come away without anything. And John Cornish stumbling ahead for good yardage on first down. 9 more for Cornish.
Come away without anything, and ate up a lot of time with the wind at their back. Remember, the Calgary Stampeders won the toss, so they'll get it in the fourth quarter. Good second effort here from Cornish. Takes it wide and then finds that hole and cuts up inside of Justin Hickman.
Give Cornish a first down. Animated Dave Dickinson. And a lot of confusion out there. They call a timeout. They don't want to.
Moniz is out there.
I think they sent the short yardage team in, and the officials had given them a first down.
Violation. Calgary number 20.
That's why.
Penalty.
But they didn't want to use a timeout that might be more important in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's why Dave Dickinson was jumping up and down. He wanted to get the offense back on the field. Moniz was already out in short yardage formation. I think they were also a man short. John Cornish thought about calling the timeout, decided not to.
Still having some issues, and I believe that is Anthony Parker that gets off the field just in time. So first and 15 at the Calgary 23 with Mitchell back in. Hand off to Harrison, and he'll high step forward and push his way to a big first down.
Wow.
Calgary getting it done on the ground against the Hamilton Ticat defense, fourth against the run.
And I've noticed up front, some penalties have taken some runs off the board too, but pretty good blocking from this offensive line that the Calgary and John Huffnagel will have to keep patching together. Harris did the heavy lifting at the end of that run, but had a nice hole at the beginning of it.
Now under 5 minutes left here in the win quarter for Hamilton. First down Calgary. Up to their 40. And it is John Cornish. He gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Gascon Nadal was there. But it's been a good night for John Cornish, and he is now 15th on the all-time list, passing Robert Drummond tonight and former Ticat great Troy Davis. And a former Calgary Stampeder is next up for John Cornish.
Every time I see that list, I look at number 3.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Wow. Damon Allen, the quarterback, number 3 in the rushing list.
Second and 11. Cats need a stop. And that one hops to the intended target, incomplete for McDaniel. And Hamilton finally gets the punt team on for Calgary. But under 4 minutes left.
See the reaction from Dave Dickinson there, Chris, where clapping the fact that, okay, got the turnover, took some more time off the clock into the win, no problem, going to put the punt team out there now that they're trying to keep it away from him. Got a touchdown earlier in this game.
They need Banks to flip the field again. This one hangs up, and it's out of bounds. That's an illegal punt, so it'll be good field position for the Ticats when the penalty is finally assessed. There go the flags. 24-yard punt, and it'll be a penalty after that. Our sack tally is brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver. We've only delivered one here tonight, sack by Derek Wigan that gives Calgary a tie for second in the overall sack standings.
Yeah, his second on the season, and you know, it's a little bit surprising in that Calgary's going with a brand new tackle in Derek Dennis. And Joel Figueroa has moved from one side to the other. Only one sack tonight.
There's Michael Ford kicking it to the right side. Good run by Ford. Down to the 37, a first down run.
I also saw Figueroa get up limping in that last series where there was the fumble by Hamilton. But a good run by Ford to get it started. Now they want to score. 3 minutes to get it done with the wind at their back. But that left tackle pulling, and Joel Figueroa looks like he's moving okay.
7 carries, 35 yards for Ford. He had 6 for 35 in his best game in his first stint with the Cats against Winnipeg. Well, first down and back into his hands. First contact by Mayo, and Ford forward to the 33, has 5 more.
Now, I watched Figueroa on that play, and he looks a little awkward there and not moving quite as well. I mean, one of the strengths of Joel Figueroa is his athletic ability for such a big man. Not bad there off the edge.
Just his 3rd game start. He's missed 19 games in his 3-year stint with the Ticats. 2nd and 5. Quick hitter is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Micah Johnson, did he get his hand on it? Junior Turner's had 4 knockdowns this year, but Johnson here.
Again, the pressure off the edge by Freddie Bishop, and there's a nice vertical from the big man, Micah Johnson. Getting that 276-pound frame up in the air.
So it's Medlock from 40 yards out. And he has missed. And they're going to bring it out. Sky Dawson with a good decision. And a flag comes down on a face mask, and he's still going. What a run by Sky Dawson, who might have been advised to stay in, but that's a terrific return of 64 yards for the newcomer to the Stamp lineup, with flags also on the play.
Nice 64-yard return here, and Matthew Gerard's going to tack it on with the penalty. The face mask right on the sideline.
Ball on the 50 for Calgary, but first, back to the sidelines. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Chris, in the offseason, before Minnesota Vikings training camp started, I was down there to cover Adrian Peterson, but I also saw Jalil Carter. When I saw him, he said, listen, if the Vikings cut me, I might be done with football. He got cut, and then last week got a call from Orlando Steinauer, the defensive coordinator for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and though Carter was thinking about offers from Edmonton and Toronto, Steinauer says, why are you waiting? Why aren't you playing football? Scott Milanovic with the Argonauts said, Jalil, if you come back, you might have to earn your spot. But Steinauer said, I know you're going to do the study. I know you're going to watch film. I know you want to play with me. Carter said that's all he needed to hear to come play for the Ticats. Guys.
Just signed this week, so not immediately into a starter's role. We have seen him in different defensive formations for Orlando Steinauer so far tonight. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter. John Cornish, another good run on first down, and the Ticats have come away empty-handed for 14 minutes with the wind at their back in this critical quarter.
One thing Orlando Steinauer will have to do when it comes to Jalil Carter is balancing the Canadian ratio and how he wants to do that. Courtney Stephen, of course, Canadian. Craig Butler at safety. Got the injury to Adrian Tracy now, so Gaston Nadal moves up. We'll see maybe some more Jalil Carter.
Brian Moniz comes on. 2nd and 3. Carter, of course, part of the 2012 Grey Cup champions with Toronto under Steinauer. And it's Moniz, the keeper, and he gets cut down. But a first down. Simone Lawrence, the tackle on Bryant Moniz, who moves the chains.
Yeah, and Simone Lawrence doesn't make this hit, and it's a great redirect to get to it. If he doesn't make it, Moniz is still running. I mean, he slides to the hole there, scrapes in it, and then overruns it, comes back, and just clips him. Or else it's Moniz against the last guy back, which was Courtney Stephen.
Final play of the quarter. Calgary's come through it unscathed. See, they might even score points against the win. Anthony Carter brought down on the hitch. Short gain, and we're through the 3rd quarter. Great defense by the Stamps, and a critical takeaway in the score zone. Through 45 minutes at Tim Hortons Field. It's still a 1-point Calgary lead. Cats are going to come back to win. They'll have to be the only team to score points against the wind here tonight.
Yeah, and then when you take a look at the turnovers, that's been the story tonight, and that's what Kent Austin said coming out at halftime, that they had to hang on to the football. They haven't been able to do that. The Ticats 0-3 when they have more turnovers than the opponents. Calgary Stampeders 5-0 when they win the turnover battle.
And such a critical turnover by Matthews tonight. Down inside the 20-yard line. So he'll have to get it done against the wind. Right now it's Calgary football. Wind at their back and in scoring range to increase the lead. As they look at 2nd and 7 from the Ticat 36. Fumble the ball off the snap and it's knocked down and almost intercepted. What's Brian Hall doing back there? The big defensive tackle.
The big man drops out from that D-line and he gets up there. But you're right, Chris, and part of the issue here was that Bo Levi Mitchell, the snap, he has a problem with that shotgun snap. He puts it on the ground. Now he takes his eyes off coverage. He doesn't realize that the defensive tackle in Brian Hall has dropped out of there, and when he drops out of there, he almost has the pick and a one-hander.
There's Rennie Paredes. 43 yards out. That one is blocked. And the Ticats end up with the football and come away without giving up a point. Simone Lawrence celebrating from his backside. Let's see if that energizes the home team.
Mishandled snap, it looked like, by Drew Tate, the holder. Now the timing is off. Fumbled, hits his knee. Now he does get it around, but you could see the hesitation from Paredes, and that was all it took.
Was that Brian Hall up the middle? Let's have another look.
The kick pressed the line of scrimmage. We have no yards. Calgary, a 5-yard will be added to the end of the run. First down.
What a series for Brian Hall. And the penalty for no yards moves it to the 41.
What a push on a double team by Brian Hall.
Though still just a 1-point game. Matthews to throw. Open man. Tasker's got it. And Luke Tasker's got a first down at midfield. Brought down by Brandon McDonald.
A throw that could give Jeff Matthews some confidence into this wind, because he knifed it on this out to put it on Luke Tasker. Again, change motion where the receivers are basically switching positions. Inside ends up out, outside it. Well, they don't on that one, and then he runs the out, and it's right on him.
7th quarterback to have his CFL debut start this year. First timers are 2 and 4. The wins by Cato and Franklin. Sinfield caught it, but lost his footing, and that will be a loss of yards, about 3, back at the 51.
You know, I'm seeing more deliberate throwing action from Jeff Matthews. Going back to the fundamentals, whether it's into the wind or with it, that he's just, that one he took the right steps. A little heat on it to cut it through the wind again, and Sinfield just had problems with it afterwards. 12 of 19 now.
Three-man rush. 2nd and long. They're waiting on the screen. Well read. Micah Johnson brings down Michael Ford. And Calgary was in the Ticat huddle on that play.
Couple of defensive tackles stepping up and making a difference. Brian Hall for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and now it's Micah Johnson. And he's working on a double team, but reads it. Little film study, I'm sure, helped him on that play.
Medlock line drive, and Dawson lets it hit the ground. Picks it up and is tackled at the 43. There'll be a no yards penalty on the play. 27-yard boot. Bo Levi Mitchell with a 1-point lead here in the 4th.
Your family.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade.
Who's at a quiet second half is Eric Rogers. Brian Hall's getting his teammates pumped up. He's been making plays, back-to-back plays in the last series, and almost unstoppable blocking the field goal. See if he can get in the kitchen of number 19.
Guy with the Super Bowl ring from the Baltimore Ravens, a pass over the middle, and Brandon Stewart with a quick stop to completion for Eric Rogers. Just a 4-yard gain for the league leader. 2nd and 6.
Yeah, I got the feeling that it was a little quiet for Rogers, the leading receiver in the CFL, that Dave Dickinson would try and design a couple of plays here in this fourth to get it to number 80, get him involved.
3 catches against Winnipeg for 80 last week, his lowest catch total of the season. 2nd and 6. Pressure on, and the ball is Anthony Parker with the catch and a first down to the 40-yard line. Quick hitter from Mitchell to Parker.
Well, it's a nice play call and design where Parker starts out and is in this formation blocking many times, but this time he shoots out the right side. Once the linebacker and Eric Harris had blitzed up the field, perfect timing on that call from Dave Dickinson.
First down at the 40, fake the corners, go inside, and a nice defensive play there by Emmanuel Davis.
Well, that's a good matchup. Bo Levi Mitchell gesturing towards the official that maybe Emmanuel Davis twisted Eric Rogers a little bit on this play. Thought it was a good defensive knockdown. And he leads the team in that category as well. Yeah,
leads the league in interceptions, leads the Ticats in knockdowns, 8 coming in. Arm was around, and there is a challenge coming from the Stampeder bench.
Calgary is challenging the previous ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. They believe a DPI occurred on the play. The play will be reviewed.
Now, a couple of things here. DPI, defensive pass interference, which is the only interference challengeable right now. Offensive is not. And when I talked to Glenn Johnson, head of officiating, before the season about that very similar play, whether it's a curl route or an in route like that from Eric Rogers, if Emmanuel Davis has his hand on the hip or on his back, it's okay as long as he doesn't twist the receiver. So that's the question as to whether or not Eric Rogers was twisted and Emmanuel Davis tried to gain position by twisting him with that right hand. If it's just riding on his back.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
So just out of the Glenn Johnson handbook.
Yeah, I didn't see Eric Rogers twisted and Emmanuel Davis gaining any type of position. So a good knockdown goes in the books for Davis. Boy, he's having a great year.
Is he ever? Not just about picks. Crowd gets loud on 2nd and 10. And out of the backfield, John Cornish, look out! Cornish with a first down, and he is dropped at the 23-yard line. Another big conversion for the Stamps. Greg Butler puts a stop to the play, but Cornish has 17.
Taylor Reed, the middle linebacker here, is going to get back real deep to try and help on any deep crossing route. So he's going to drop way out of there. Now he recognizes the throw to Cornish. You can see him spying 9 out of the backfield, but that cut just as Cornish caught the ball, and Taylor Reed lost his angle.
5 for 53 as a receiver in the game. Here's Mitchell, and there's the 6th catch by Cornish. Brandon Stewart takes him down near the line of scrimmage. Cornish came in with only 11 catches, and he's got a half dozen here tonight.
Yeah, timing was off on that play, though, Chris, and it allowed the Ticats defensively to rally. Brandon Stewart came up and cut him down. 16 touches for 72 yards rushing, 54 through the air. 126 yards of offense from Cornish.
Good night of work. Second and almost the full 10. And that pass falls incomplete. Looked like tipped. Parker had it bounce off the shoulder pads, and it falls harmlessly to the turf.
Interesting move from Justin Hickman there as he drops out and then just reads the receiver and the target here. He's right at the top of your screen here. Watch him drop out and have his back to the throw. And then just reading Anthony Parker, he actually got hit in the head.
So Hall has made a play by dropping out from defensive tackle. Now Hickman. Last time Paredes lined up, the field goal is blocked. Teague gets this one down, and Paredes puts it through. First points of the second half, and it's now a 4-point Calgary lead. Could have been worse, but there's defensive end. Justin Hickman is a defensive back.
Poker Tour.
The NCAA football season continues tomorrow. 3 games on TSN. Action gets underway with Texas taking on TCU, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on TSN 1.
Trivia question. What former Hamilton Tiger Cat quarterback went to TCU?
A guy who might be watching tonight, eating popcorn. Casey Printer, Sky Dawson is a TCU alum in the game tonight. There's a catch by Bakari Grant, comes back to help out his quarterback and has an 11-yard catch.
It's exactly what he did, Chris. He came back to help his quarterback, comes up the field, but then comes back, and it's the extra 3 steps on his way back towards Jeff Matthews that wins him the catch here.
In front of Jamar Wall. First game for Grant since August 9th. Just his 7th game on the year. First down, motion to the left side. That's where Michael Ford's running. And Josh Bell, the safety, comes up to make first contact at the 49.
Pretty good pursuit right there to the football. And gang tackling. Michael Ford tries the left side. Keon Raymond turns him in. And that's the key to run stop often, is when you can get that first flash of the opposite color jersey to turn the running back into the pursuit lanes.
9th carry, 44 yards for Ford. 2nd and 6 for the Cats. Matthews steps up, flag comes down, throws complete, and there's some room here, and it's Ford down the sidelines, cuts it back, and a horse collar down at the 2. But let's wait for the first flag. We know what the second one is. Is this coming back?
Brandon Smith is trying to regroup. The training staff immediately came on the field when the whistle blew.
59-yard play.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Calgary number 28. That penalty is declined. Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Horse collar tackle. Calgary half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the Ticats' biggest offensive play of the game will stand, and they'll have first and goal at the 1-yard line.
Brandon Smith got one of those penalties. Let's take a look. And this is Jeff Matthews, first of all, just buying some time and then getting back to his running back. Now, over there, you see Smith to the right of your screen is already down.
Boy, that flag came out in that area that you expect a holding call, but it goes against the Stampeders, and the ball's been placed on the 1.
That's Brandon Smith, and he tries to catch it, pulls Bakari Grant to the ground, Sinkfield takes the worst of that, and then Sinkfield gets up from that hit with a key block to spring Michael Ford.
Now, Stamp fans might be saying, did Sinkfield initiate that contact? And clearly Smith got the worst of it. but the call goes the Ticats' way, and suddenly on the doorstep with a chance to score the first points and the ones they needed against the wind here midway through the fourth quarter. The big boys hunker down. Jeff Matthews, touchdown. Matthews into the end zone with his 6th touchdown of the year, and that might be his biggest.
Well, maybe his biggest play and great decision was the one to get it down here as he maintained his composure in the pocket, moved around to find time to get it to Michael Ford, who got it down on the goal line with the help of a couple of penalties, and Matthews finishes into the wind to take the lead for Hamilton.
So they'll go for the 32-yard convert against the wind, which won't be automatic. But Medlock hits it. And it didn't have much to spare, but a big kick by Medlock. And it's now a 3-point Ticat lead. Under 7 to go. And Michael Ford with the biggest Ticat play from scrimmage tonight. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Barbecued Pulled Pork Poutine and Sandwich. Wendy's. Now that's better. In for a finish here. 3-point lead for Jeff Matthews and the Ticats. First points against the wind. Will that be enough to stand up tonight? That big play by Michael Ford to set it up. A lot of work to be done, though.
Oh, yeah. And lots of time for Calgary and Bo Levi Mitchell.
But 2 big plays here in the fourth quarter for Hamilton. A blocked field goal to deny Calgary from expanding the lead. And that play by Ford to set up the touchdown. Sky Dawson, the TCU product. Back across the 35. And now Calgary needs points with the win. Calgary here will confirm a home playoff date.
And Calgary Stampeders have had the Ticats number.
11 of the last 12, 13 of 15. Brian Hall and the defense have other ideas. John Porter's trying to start it. Not much.
Right in Hall's hole, and he said no, Just stood up his man in the middle of the defense and collapsed a couple of holes at the line of scrimmage.
Simone Lawrence gets up with a big smile on his face.
Big man in the middle there is playing some good football. He's taking on Shane Bergman. Doing him up, kept his legs moving.
Shane Bergman, who grew up a Hamilton Tiger Cat fan in this area. That ball batted down, and it's intercepted. That's our no Gascon-Nadeau, who replaced the injured Adrian Tracy.
Guess who got it? Guess who got the tip?
That number 6.
Guess who got the tip? And guess who I'm leaning to if the Ticats can hang on and win this game?
I hear you. Oh, he didn't catch it. That ball came loose.
Let's take a look again. There's the tip.
And the punt team will kick it away. Brandon Banks back around his 5. Brings it across the 15 and gets tossed down. Dexter Janke will get penalized. That'll be an unnecessary roughness call, so Hickman, who responded to it, gets pulled away. Oh, we thought that was a pick by Nadeau, who
major foul.
was unable to gather it in.
Calgary number 40. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
I'd like to welcome viewers of that preseason game between the Maple Leafs and the Red Wings here in Hamilton. Going down to the wire tonight. 3-point Hamilton lead, but they're going against a strong wind here at Tim Hortons Field in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the ragdoll move is always going to draw the flag.
Valuable 15 yards tacked on there. Matthews a throw, slant drop by Tasker,
almost,
and nearly intercepted by Duron Mayo.
Almost on that tip, and Tasker took a big hit. I believe it was Keon Raymond. He's trying to take over that leadership void left by Juwan Simpson, who is here but not dressed. Mayo almost got the tip. That's number 42. I believe it was Raymond who makes the hit and knocks it out of there.
Would have been a tough one off his shoe tops at 2nd and 10. All the points until the fourth quarter scored with the wind. Ticats have a touchdown with the wind of the fourth to take the lead, but Jeff Matthews has dropped. Freddie Bishop with the tackle and the sack. And for Bishop, that's 9 on the year. Came into the game tied for 4th in the CFL in the sack department.
Oh, monster 2-and-out though for the Calgary Stampeders. A monster defensive effort here.
Medlock against the 60-kilometer-an-hour breeze. Good kick.
What a kick.
Dawson sent back, and he did some juggling. And now brings it back to the 40. Wow. That was an adventure. And that was a 45-yard punt against the wind.
Well, as big as that 2-and-out was for the Stamps, that's equally as big as on the kick by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Into this win, we've seen all kinds of adventures in the kicking game.
Like Anthony Woodson on the tackle. We've had 2 field goals from beyond 50, one from 57 with the wind. Still lots of time for Calgary. That pass caught by Parker, but a quick takedown by Courtney Stephen. And it's a 4-yard gain. Excuse me, Joe West the catch. And it will be 2nd and 6, Calgary.
Big second down here. Steinhauer brings some pressure, or is he going to drop underneath it? When he's dropped, Bo Levi Mitchell has gone to corner.
Final play before the 3-minute warning. Mitchell sets up and looking deep for Jeff Fuller. Out of his reach with a half step on Ed Gady. So Calgary will have to punt it away. Stiff breeze, and that one just got away from Bo Levi Mitchell with an open man on the go route. Four-point win in the Grey Cup for John Hufnagel. He won again in the Week 1 rematch of the Grey Cup on the final play of the game. Is this the night Ken Austin gets John Hufnagel for a win?
2 former teammates going back a long way to the Saskatchewan days.
Rob Maber to punt on 3rd down here with just over 2.5 minutes to go, and not a good boot. And that will sail out. That'll be an illegal punt.
Yeah.
And the field position will be decent for the Ticats. They're marking him out at the 35.
Out of bounds. Calgary number 6. A 10-yard penalty will be enforced from where the ball went out of bounds. First down, Hamilton.
A rare missed kick by Rob Maber up 30 yards.
Now clearly Maber did not want to put that one into the end zone, so he was angling it out of bounds, and it went off the side of his foot.
Well, in hindsight,
would you kick it and then kick it away?
Point might help you win the game in this situation, but you're right, better to back up
a young quarterback, make him drive the field, but you're right, the point would have been a better strategy. Either way, he shanked it off the right.
Yeah, better than the current situation of Hamilton first down at the 45. Fake to Ford, and Matthews going to run it. And a feet first slide for 5 to the 50.
Good decision. I've been impressed with the way that Jeff Matthews has handled the win better in the second half, has maintained his composure even though there's been a couple of turnovers. And he's playing against a Rich Stubler run defense with a group of veterans back there. He talked about how good they are on defense this week with me. And been impressed with his composure. I don't know the numbers are going to jump off the chart, but doesn't look out of place.
2nd and 6. They only gave him the 49. Sinkfield called a timeout.
Violation. Hamilton number 15. This is a loss of down. 3rd down.
Sinkfield tried to call a timeout to.
Well, there's a confusion. Michael Ford was on the wrong side. Sinkfield looking to try and call the timeout and obviously didn't get it in time.
So the time count, loss of down.
Inside of the 3-minute warning, that's a loss of down penalty.
Worst case scenario though for Hamilton because the clock stops and
no question
they lose it down, and Ticats thought they had the timeout called. Not in time. Medlock's kick bouncing around at the 32-yard line, and Dawson steps out up at the 43. So exactly 2 minutes left for Bo Levi Mitchell. Can win the game with a touchdown drive, and they don't have to go far to get into field goal range for Rennie Paredes. May only need 15 yards or so for Paredes range. He's 1 for 2 outside the 50 tonight.
Had one block.
Ball to throw. Completion short to Parker. Not going very far, and carrying it dangerously as he is brought down at the 46. So 2nd and 7. 3-down range here. Is there enough time to punt it and get it back? Might be a decision John Hufnagel has to make. 2nd and 7. And it's intercepted. Courtney Stephen brings it down. There is a flag. And Stephen running some time off the clock before he's brought down by Eric Rogers.
We'll see what this flag is.
It's going against the Ticats in that illegal contact area.
Illegal contact on receiver. Hamilton number 20. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Against Emmanuel Davis, who has played so well tonight and this season.
Take a look. I believe that's your matchup. Manuel Davis, the 2nd arrow I showed, and way past the 5 with contact to the intended receiver.
Haircut penalty. 1st down, Calgary at the 54. And they'll screen to Cornish. And Cornish dropped at the 45-yard line. Eric Harris, the tackle. But now into Paredes range.
In range, but
not automatic yet.
Right, not automatic. And the further out you are, even with the wind at your back, you've got to have more of a low kick. One has been blocked by Brian Hall already tonight, going in the same direction. So, Calgary's will want to use this time out and get a little closer, not leave any for Hamilton.
Well, lots of time.
But they're thinking major to win first.
And off again to Cornish, down around the 39-yard line.
Been the most consistent offensively. Week 1, it was a close one.
And then Rennie Paredes from 50 yards out.
You got it, you got it!
A walk-off.
You got it, you got it!
Field goal for Paredes and the Stamps. Tonight, miss that time as Eric Rogers lost his footing. Check that, Jabari Arthur in his first game lost his footing, and Paredes now to come on. And it will be a 46-yard attempt.
Great players do that. They make a mistake, and everyone does. If you cross the stripe, you've made a mistake in the game, and Davis gets the legal contact penalty, but comes back on second down with a big knockdown now. See if Paredes can tie this.
Missed one from long range, and as you mentioned, had one blocked by Brian Hall. For the tie. Rene Paredes has done it again. 20-20. With 48 on the clock.
It was one mishandled snap from Drew Tate on the hold, not this time. Clean hold, laces away. Rene Paredes makes no mistake.
And hit 22 consecutive before his miss. But a big one there, and overtime, a distinct possibility now. Back at start at the 35-yard line. Ford left side. And he has a couple. Deron Mayo, the tackle, playing for the injured Jawan Simpson at middle linebacker.
This is an interesting time right here for Ken Austin and how aggressive he gets here. If it's Zach Collaros, he's going for field goal position into this win. And that's not, a slight on the performance of Jeff Matthews tonight. He's just so much younger and less experienced. Going into the wind. Any mistake here gives Calgary a chance to kick with the win.
Stamps with a stop would get the ball back. With about 15 seconds left, time for a couple of plays, and they won't need, as you can see, the goalpost in the wind. They wouldn't likely need much to get back in field goal range again. So overtime, not a certainty. 2nd and 8. Pressure. Matthews gets away and now is dropped back at the line of scrimmage. Freddie Bishop will see if he gets credit for a sack or not.
That was a coverage sack by the secondary down here on the bottom, doing a nice job. This is where Jeff Matthews was looking. He wanted to go to Luke Tasker down here at the bottom, and a good close on the outside there. He just didn't want to pull the trigger.
Like they got right back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 8. And now Hamilton needs a big punt from Medlock. Sky Dawson for Calgary needs a good return here to get Calgary close to field goal range. Well, not a good kick at all. They might already be in field goal range. Picked up by Dawson, no yards, and Paredes is going to get a chance to come right back out. Medlock had hit from 45 against the wind, not very much long ago, but this was a 10-yarder when they needed it the most.
Well, he has nailed a couple, but this one, I thought there might have been pressure that forced him to just change his kicking motion, but real late pressure well after he had kicked it. No excuse for Medlock there. He just shanked one. And you're right, Calgary's in field goal range right now.
Ends up being a 2-yard net punt.
Be great.
Time for one play, and then Rene Paredes. Cornish gets him closer and makes sure he gets down so there's still time on the clock.
Exactly.
Boy, good presence of mind by a guy who is one of the smartest guys that plays the game.
Yeah, that was heads up by Cornish because he had a lot of room, and normally you'll see him continue to make as many misses as he can, but he knew how much time he had left, wanted to make sure he got down. Now, he did take some contact from Simone Loras, but he only 5 minutes in. Yeah, get down before it runs out.
And now Hamilton virtually has to block the punt because even a miss by Paredes likely goes through for a single point.
Yeah, exactly, which is why it's a little surprising that Brandon Banks is even back there. Might as well put all 12 on the line of scrimmage and try and block this. Because if Paredes misses here with this wind, very unlikely
unless he's kicking it out from the back of the end zone, but you're right.
It's very unlikely that Banks will even be able to play it.
Yeah. From 37 yards out for the win, and Rene Paredes has done it. It's another walk-off field goal winner for Calgary against Hamilton.
Win number 99 for John Hufnagel.
Ties Cal Murphy and moves to a tie for 10th on the all-time win list. Stampeders will play a playoff game at home and now move to 11-3. And the Ticats stay tied for first in the East with Ottawa, just 2 ahead of the Toronto Argonauts. Time for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game. It's brought to you by Nissan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
19 touches for John Cornish, 91 yards rushing, second game in a row over 90, 63 yards receiving, which is more than he had all season long coming into this game. So Rene Paredes, honorable mention for the walk-off field goal. Player of the game, John Cornish.
Good shit, bro. We see you again.
154 yards of offense from John Cornish on the night. Rene Paredes kicks 2 field goals in the final minute. The last kick at the Cats is a game winner. 23-20. Calgary win it. So long from Tim Hortons Field. SportsCenter is next.